to show you that they definitely are doing the right thing.
I felt like I was not only joining a business association, but I was joining a civil association.
The voice that GSBA has in the political arena now is appropriate, and it matters. It's not just it's a business association, but it is a community association.
They were raising money through the existing business community to put scholarships up for anybody who was GLBT, and I said, sign me up.
You don't have to be American, you don't have to be white, you don't have to be anything. You can just be yourself.
Now I hopefully, well actually no, I am going to. I'm going to finish my master's and I'm going to work in education policy and change the lives of LGBT youth. Thank you so much.
They're really a giving organization.
We are called upon in all sorts of ways to, for our voice to be heard.
The GSBA is fundamentally creating the type of atmosphere that allows people to be comfortable in who they are without judgment.
GSBA has allowed us to be a part of this community so that those old days will never come back, will never come back.
If the history of the GSBA is any indication of what the future holds, it's going to be an amazing 35 years ahead of us.
So raise your glass if you are wrong in all the right ways. I'm an underdog. Won't you come on and raise your glass? Just come on and raise your glass. Won't you come on and raise your glass for me? Just come on and raise your glass for me.
Now, please welcome to the stage the person who gets the most pleasure out of thanking and honoring our members, our president and CEO, sorry, not past president, our CEO and president, Louise Chernin, along with our GSBA board chair, Kevin Gaspari.
No. Hello, hello, hello. I love seeing you all here tonight. I just, someone was saying it, maybe it was Sally, that everybody is so happy to be here because don't you see, you feel like you're with your family and it's pretty amazing. I just love all of you here tonight, I have to say that. Happy 35th anniversary, 35 years. I barely remember what 35 is like, but I think it was good. But for an organization, it's mature, and it means it's sustained, and it's really wonderful. So as we prepared for tonight, we started calling up a lot of early members and founders. Many of them are here in the room tonight. Even some of them I didn't think were going to be here are in the room tonight, which is so wonderful. And some of them we'll mention later. Some live in Hawaii, some live in Tahiti, some live in Mexico right now. Far too many of them we lost in the AIDS crisis. I think almost all of our early presidents really were lost to AIDS. So those who are here are very precious to us. When we did call some of the early members, they said, and you know, you might know some of them, the curmudgeons, you know that word with some of our early members. What are you honoring us for? We don't need it. We didn't do very much. So for them, I want to say, you did. You did. So when the late 70s came and you got together and you met, and I don't know, Lonnie, tell me, was it Brass Rail, was it Shelley's Leg, or wherever you met first? What? Brass Rail. Oh, everybody has it, yes. So when you met in those early days, those 9 men that first met, who would have thought 35 years later, a lot has changed. You're no longer 9 gay men. You've been joined by lesbians, bisexuals, transgender, and our allied community. I think those early members were astounding. They were judges, they were lawyers, they were real estate agents, they were counselors and consultants, and they got together and they said, we need to find each other, we need to be out and proud as business people, and we need to use our economic position to change the world, end discrimination, and we need to be at the forefront to do that for our community. And let me tell you, although they don't say that it was, but it was risky at that time. And we owe them a lot. To get where we were then, or starting with Stonewall in the late 60s to where we are now, is no less short of a miracle. I wish we could say we could truly drink even the second bottle of champagne, but if you've been following the news, you know we have a ways to go. And we have to make sure our transgender community, which is not just a letter at the end of LGB. It is an important community that is still facing a lot of discrimination in our country and in our world. So we thank those original men, we thank all those other people who joined, and then they came up with this brilliant idea to form a business organization, and they were inspired by another business organization in San Francisco, the Golden Gate Business Alliance, and they are back here tonight. They were the first LGBT chamber in the United States. So thank you so much for being here. And what did those fantastic folks do? They immediately did a guide and directory. And Vicky Party is sitting here, but I believe she owned Victoria's Ink, and I'm talking early 80s, and printed that very first guide, which now we print 15,000 copies and is online and iPhone apps and everything else. Those same people 10 years later formed the Scholarship Fund, the first LGBT scholarship fund in the United States. And did they know when they gave out that first $3,000 that they would be giving out $350,000 a year, over $2.3 million since 1990? So, many things change, but what doesn't change is we're still about business, small business, we're still about LGBT, we're still about civil rights, investing in our youth, and we still believe equality is good business. It was then, it is now, 35 years later. Hopefully it will always be. And to thank all of you that made this possible, you also have an extraordinary board of directors, and they are led this year by one of our most amazing leaders in the community, who I'm proud to call my boss and my board chair, and that is Kevin Gaspari. So before I turn this over to Kevin, I also want to thank an amazing staff. I don't want to make sure I don't leave anybody out, but Ari Rosen and Mandy Domer, Jason Dittmer, Rachel Chernin, Victoria Odell, Ilona Lowry, Matt Landers, Jessica Wooten, and most especially for his work on this event, our Director of Programs and Fund Development, Mark Rosine, which I don't know where you are, Mark, but Mark Rosine. Of course, thank you to the volunteers. Thank you tonight to the hotel staff. And now let me turn this over to our board chair, Kevin.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all having a nice evening. Given the challenges our small businesses face, we understand the huge responsibility in representing your voice. Sustaining our organization with over 1,100 small businesses, most of them small businesses as well as our sponsors, would not be possible without your continued support and the extra backing from our corporate sponsors. That enables GSBA to keep our dues low and provide outstanding programs for our small businesses. Our sponsors join with our small businesses as partners on our journey for advancing equality for all. Thank you.
So stay right here because you're going to help me with this. We have a lot of amazing sponsors. So thank you to our Jewels of GSBA. Those are the sponsors that invest both in the Scholarship Fund and in the Chamber. Our Diamond sponsors, Microsoft, where are you? And this year, first time, Wells Fargo. Thank you so much. Our Emerald Jewels, First Security Bank, and Alaska Airlines. Wave to me so I know you're there. Our Ruby Jewels, PwC, where are you? Okay, RBC Wealth Management, right here. And our newest jewel, our sapphire jewel, Carter Subaru. Thank you for incorporating philanthropy into your business model. And our top sponsor for the Chamber, our platinum sponsor, U.S. Bank. Thank you so much.
And we'd also like to thank our gold sponsors, Bulk Freight, Outer Wall, Pacific Medical Centers, and Starline Luxury Cruise Coaches. Gladys. She's here somewhere. Our silver sponsors, Amazon, Boeing, Precision Garage Door, Everest College, Seattle Goodwill, Starbucks, and the UW Medicine. Our bronze sponsors, CenturyLink, DLM Insurance, Google, Group Health, Iron Brothers Construction, Mona Smith, attorney at law, Nest Egg, RD House, Sound Fertility Care. We have a lot of sponsors.
We are so fortunate to have these sponsors.
We are. Sound Publishing, Sound Transit, Verity Credit Union, and Vulcan.
And we also want to thank our tourism partners, and they have a table here tonight, Visit Seattle, Sheraton Hotel, Alaska Airlines, and the Space Needle. And our other tourism partners, Amtrak, King County, Port of Seattle, Renaissance Hotel, and Sound Transit. And tonight, we are so fortunate to have Wells Fargo, not only our diamond sponsor, but they are tonight's title sponsor. Thank you so very much. And Vulcan, thank you for being our presenting partner tonight. Thank you so much. And also, of course, RBC Wealth Management, Seattle Goodwill, who made tonight possible. And our wonderful Girly Press, Team Photogenic, and South Floral.
We'd also like to give a special thanks to our friends here at Marriott for always putting on such a great dinner, including our wait staff and our bartenders. Thank you. So, everybody has a glass of champagne in front of them.
Get that champagne? Okay.
So please raise your glass.
To 35 years of impact advancing equality for all.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Congratulations. Cheers.
Thank you, and we'll turn this over to Sally. We'll go up this way.
Yeah, let me grab mine.
Thank you to Louise and Kevin. Can we have another hand for Louise and Kevin, please? All right, good evening. I am your MC for the evening. I am not Gary Tucker. For those of you who have been here before, you know that Gary Tucker is much taller than I am, and he is much funnier than I am. And I'd like to thank Mr. Tucker for being out of town because I don't get to talk into a microphone much anymore. This is very exciting for me. Tom Rasmussen is very jealous that I'm here right now. I would like to say that I'm very proud to get to do this tonight. I was telling somebody earlier, all of us probably get a little jaded, those of us who go to events a lot of the time, but these are great reminders, and the things that you're going to see here tonight, that you're going to hear tonight, the things that we saw in the video are reminders about what it means and how important it is to live your values, and that you are stepping out there for someone who comes after you. And a lot of people in this room have been a part of that. A lot of people in this room are a part of that now and are paying it forward. And it's a great honor to be here and get to be your MC for this evening. I'd like to take just a moment to acknowledge the elected officials who are joining us here in the room this evening. I know you're not going to do this, but it says in my script to ask you to hold your applause until after I have run through the list. Please do your best, right? See, always someone a transgressor. Room full of transgressors, right? All right, here we go. And first, Please, I'd like to recognize Supreme Court Justice Mary Yu. If you could stand, thank you very much. King County Superior Court Judge Johanna Bender. Former Supreme Court Justice Bobby Bridge. The retiring former Judge Ann Levinson. My compatriot from the Seattle City Council, the Honorable Tom Rasmussen. A fellow I just saw over on the side of the room, and I've lost track of him now, King County Councilmember Joe McDermott. There's Joe. And Seattle Mayor Ed Murray. Is Mayor Murray here? There's Mayor Murray. Did I miss anyone? Are there elected officials who I did not catch that Matt did not catch? Matt is pretty good at this. Thank you all very much for being here tonight. It makes a big difference. Please join me now in welcoming to the stage Patrick Yalung. Patrick is the Regional President of Washington Operations for Wells Fargo. Patrick.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Sally, and thanks, Louise and Kevin, for the amazing work that you do. I get the opportunity, Sally mentioned this, we get the opportunity to attend a lot of these types of events over the course of the year. The amount of energy, the amount of excitement, the volume in terms of the noise level in here is amazing. I wish every event that I got to attend was as much fun as this event as well. One of the other reasons, though, is this recognizes the business excellence of the honorees, the winners that are in here, and the contributions that they make in our communities. And through GSBA and their advocacy of promoting equality and diversity in the workplace, it's critical for us to be able to accomplish that, because that's one of the reasons that Seattle is such a great place to live and work. Louise mentioned the scholarship fund. I'm proud to say that that's something that Wells Fargo is also a part of, and we're actually increasing our commitment. And I think through that scholarship fund, it's an opportunity for us to extend the reach of future business leaders and the difference that they can make here in this community. For the past 12 years, yeah, you can clap for that, Patty, thank you. There are a couple of things that I'm particularly proud of, not just at Wells Fargo, but certainly Wells Fargo here in Washington. One of the things that I think is important is that for the past 12 years, Wells Fargo has actually received a perfect score of 100 on the Human Rights Campaign Foundation Corporate Equality Index. And so it's something that we're really proud of, and it's something that's sustainable for us, and we believe it does make a difference in our communities. Two quick ways that we're doing this, because I've got a couple of team members here that are part of this, but one of the things that we do is we have 50 chapters of LGBT team member network groups that we call Pride. We've got a very, very active chapter here in Seattle, and I mentioned a couple of our members are here. But our Pride groups are actually a resource, and they help us champion diversity within Wells Fargo. They help us with awareness, they help us with understanding. And again, we're grateful for the fantastic work they do. One of the other things that we do in terms of developing and promoting LGBT team members within Wells Fargo, we actually have a high potential program for LGBT team leaders. And the curriculum includes identifying just some of the internal and external hurdles that many of these team members face and the things that we need to do in order to be able to overcome that. So, our ultimate goal is to enrich Wells Fargo's culture and our long-term commitment to the LGBT community, and we believe that by doing so, we are empowering the next generation of leaders. Thank you for the opportunity for me to tell a little bit of the work that we're doing at Wells Fargo. Louise and Kevin, thanks for including us and giving us the opportunity to partner with GSBA. It's now my distinct pleasure to welcome to the stage, because he certainly doesn't need any introduction, but to the welcome to the stage, longtime GSBA member, Mayor Ed Murray.
Thank you. And I'm going to welcome to the stage the first gentleman of the city of Seattle, Michael Shiozaki. He didn't want to do that, so Louise actually made him do it. And thank you, Louise makes many of us do things that we don't want to do. So 10 years ago, we got together, 10 years ago in 2006, and we celebrated a victory that took 29 years when we passed the Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, and Transgender Civil Rights Bill. That was 10 years ago, and I was there in the House floor with now Councilmember Joe McDermott. And it was a long, hard-fought battle. And the year before, we actually lost by 1 vote because we wouldn't take transgender out of the bill. So in 2006, we did something pretty special in Washington State. We included transgender. Well, 2016, and what do you know? The Republicans in the Senate, in the legislature, are attempting to undo that legislation and take transgender out. But they lost. And they lost because we have a voice, and we have many voices in Olympia. Jamie Peterson, Mark Elias, Lori Jenkins, Brady Walkinshaw, Jim Mueller, Joan McBride, and Christine Kilduff. And GSBA. So they tried to send us back to a place we're never going to go back to. And because of GSBA and because of all of you and because of those legislators, we're not going back. Reminds me of a story when we were fighting for that civil rights bill. One morning I picked up the PI. It used to be a paper. And there was a front page article, and one of the legislators said, we just need to put them all on a boat and send them out of the country. Well, like many of you, my grandparents may have come here on a boat, but I don't go anywhere unless it's on a Boeing jet. And the place they will never send us back to is to the past. So I want to thank GSBA again for being a leader in civil rights and giving a business voice, but just as importantly, as a mayor of this city, creating a vibrant business environment for our small businesses and for our large businesses. Thank you for doing that. And to end with, I could thank all the people who are about to get awards individually, but I do want to thank just a few of them. I want to thank Tamara and Linda for feeding Michael and I all these years. Your restaurant really is a place where everyone knows our name, and we love it. We love being there. I want to thank Anna Mari for being an incredible leader, for stepping up as president of the University of Washington. For building a relationship that we didn't exist between the city and the university, and for getting Michael and I our puppy. Congratulations, happy 35th year.
Now, I was remiss in not explaining, so my name is Sally Clark, for those of you who may not know, and I imagine you all, keep close track of the Seattle City Council and know that I now work for the University of Washington and that you have some new great faces on the Seattle City Council. I'm going to take just a little prerogative and recognize the almost 3 tables of University of Washington folks that are here with us tonight. Yes. We've got a great mix of students, staff, and faculty over there, and it was a pleasure to put this together. Now, I would like to welcome to the stage our co-chairs of the Business and Humanitarian Awards Selection Committee. That means you're going to welcome Jean Barwick of Seattle Goodwill and Paul Villa of Green Rubino. Welcome.
Thank you, Sally. It's been an honor to once again serve as co-chair of this committee. For those of you that don't know, this committee is made up of past recipients. So let this serve as an invite to tonight's recipients. We'll be calling on you. Because each of our nominees is so deserving, it's not an easy committee to serve on, but it's one that's incredibly rewarding. With that said, I'd like the members of the selection committee to please stand so we can acknowledge and thank you. Thank you. I'd also like to thank my co-chair, Jean Barwick. Jean, it's always a joy to work with you.
Thank you, darling. You're not so bad yourself. I told them that he had to stand there so I could do that. They gave me a script, but, I wrote my own today. I also want to thank the Business Humanitarian Awards Committee. You guys are the best. Choosing from among all these overqualified nominees is a rough job, but alas, someone has to do it, and we got a great crew doing it every year. So I'd also like to thank our generous supporting sponsors. They would be Girly Press, Team Photogenic, Sal Floral Design, whose beautiful work sits on your tables, and table captains, please offer one of these beautiful centerpieces to the person at your table who you'd most like to impress. Okay? As a proud employee of Seattle Goodwill, I'd like to thank them. I'm talking about Goodwill now, people. Okay. As a proud employee of Seattle Goodwill, I'd like to thank them for being one of tonight's sponsors and for their support of the GSBA and of our community. Shopping and donating at Goodwill helps us help others because... All right. And so now it's my pleasure to welcome, are you here, guys? Harley Bro, CPA, and Greg Sarum of Your Man Friday.
Good evening, everyone. And again, welcome to our 35th year. I've been here for 26 of them. 35 years. Isn't that amazing? I know we have members and people here tonight that weren't even born then. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you stand out. But we have gone from a handful of bar owners to over 1,100 members, with over 100 programs and events every year. GSBA is the largest LGBT business chamber in the country, and maybe even the world. We are also the oldest and in the top 5 of the LGBT scholarships in the country. And I know you've heard this already, with over $2.3 million awarded. Just think about that, $2.3 million. Wow. We've come a long way, baby. When we were planning for tonight, I asked if there were any pictures from the first meetings, and I was reminded that selfies and cell phones didn't exist back then, and being out could be dangerous. Tonight, we are here to acknowledge and to thank these brave and visionary founders and early members. Sadly, many of them are no longer with us to see the success they have started. And we have a few of them names on the list. And now, I would like to introduce one of those early members who some have called the first lesbian, Harley Bro.
Thank you, Greg, for that lovely introduction. And as far as being the first lesbian, I'm guessing if Sappho or Gertrude Stein were still alive, they might have a little disagreement with you. I joined GSBA 35 years ago, and I'm still here because I support the mission, and I'm proud to be a part of an organization that has made such an impact. Tonight, we have the wonderful opportunity to acknowledge and honor the recipients and finalists. Many of our members have faced obstacles, launched businesses before there were anti-discrimination policies, created families without the protection of legal recognition, and not only opened a business, but joined a gay chamber, and nearly from day one used their business to further equal rights. This was particularly true of our founding and early members, who did so much to grow GSBA and to lay the foundation for the organization it is today. For those founding and early members, please stand so that we can acknowledge you for your work. You know who you are. One of them in particular I would like to comment on and point out is my good friend Lonnie Lusardo, who I've known now for the 35 years that I've been part of GSBA. But everybody else, if you've been a member 25 years or more, please stand. If you've served on the board, if you volunteered, if you ever received an award, you've been instrumental in shaping the success of GSBA. Stand up so that we can thank you. Thank you all for making us what we are today.
I almost missed my cue to come up here. I was looking around at who had stood up, and I saw George Bacon in the back corner there with a tidy haircut. Didn't recognize you with the tidy haircut. All right, thanks very much to Harley and Greg. I think we all know how much work they put into the mission of the GSBA and into the betterment of the community and our city overall, so big thanks to you. Now, on to the awards. It's time. Unless you want to talk about making America great. We can talk about the election, too. But, okay, maybe the awards. That'll be more uplifting for everybody, right? That's why you're here. Okay. All right. All of our finalists and recipients tonight exemplify the highest standards of their profession, and they promote diversity and equality in all of their business affairs. They are the models of leadership, sustainability, volunteerism, philanthropy, and support for the LGBTQ community. Our first category of the evening is New Business of the Year, and this year's finalists in that category are, drum rolls, thank you, Deals Ashore Beehive. Deals Ashore Beehive, creators of an innovative app originally designed to help tourists and shoppers find local businesses in unfamiliar cities. That's evolved to being a guide that's helpful for anyone, anywhere who wants to discover local shopping options. And as a former chair of the Economic Development Committee for the city, this is huge, figuring out where you can do your local shopping. Hello, Robin Cookies. Yeah. Located on 19th Avenue, Hello Robin has become a Capitol Hill favorite and a go-to destination for those seeking the best in cookies and ice cream sandwiches. And that's all of us. The Queen Bee Cafe, donating profits to local charities. The Queen Bee serves up tasty crumpets created with locally sourced products in a warm and friendly atmosphere on Madison Street, dedicated to strong women everywhere, because when you think strong women, you think crumpets. Sur 16, located on 15th Avenue. Sur 16 is an exciting casual-themed concept restaurant that mixes the colors, flavors, and style of mestizo food with the fresh ingredients of the Northwest. And now to present this year's award for the New Business of the Year, please welcome my friend Roger Nias of Nias Communications and Gary Collins of Frontier Communications.
Good evening. Bulk freight is a business on the move in every way. As a domestic leader in liquid bulk logistics and freight management, bulk freight provides safe and innovative freight brokerage solutions for chemical companies across the United States and Canada. Wayne Levinson's vision to fill an industry need and create a dynamic and diverse team is what has created this incredibly rapid success of his company. In just a few short years, bulk freight is now a $20 million enterprise. They have built their company around their values of communication excellence, integrity, breakthrough market knowledge, and steadfast dependability.
So the best part about this evening is we get to talk about a gay trucker. So I want everyone to pay attention here. So I'm excited I got to meet Wayne earlier today. He has relied on strong professional and mentoring networks and in the success of his business. And in return, he mentors young entrepreneurs to help them along their way. Stressing the importance of education, Bulk Freight also offers its smart and innovative team educational support and opportunities, helping to pay for their degrees and industry certifications. And when Bulk Freight first approached GSBA about joining, the organization said, well, why would a trucking company want to join GSBA? And their answer was simple: we want folks to know that there are gay truckers out there. So please join me in congratulating Bulk Freight, our 2015 GSBA New Business of the Year. Keep on trucking, Wayne.
I can't even begin to explain what an honor this is. To start off, I just want to thank the GSBA and the entire staff for putting together this event and for providing me the opportunity to share the stage with such talented individuals representing such significant companies and organizations. Thank you to Luis. Where is she? Oh, there she is. For all the years of efforts you put in and for really encouraging Bulk Freight to seek out our LGBT Business Enterprise certification. It's been such an honor to be part of that. Thanks to the nominating committee for considering Bulk Freight. The entire team is very proud to have this honor. As well, thank you to my entire family, especially my parents who made the 2,500-mile trek from New York. I feel like they're as proud of me as I am of them. Thanks to my friends, especially the ones that made it, and of course the ones who didn't. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. And most importantly, thanks to the Bulk Freight team. You guys have really made it the successful venture it is today. Being named the New Business of the Year really shows that all of our effort and hard work has been recognized and valued by this community. Bulk Freight has become very familiar with the GSBA over the last 2 years. It was only about a year and a half ago that Bulk Freight started becoming involved, and today you can see our employees attending YPP events to luncheons. We are at every single one of the events, and we have representation from anybody from our newest employees to our oldest members of our organization. It's actually pretty funny, because when I look at other people's calendars and I'm getting ready to tell everyone about a YPP event, it seems to be that everyone's Outlook calendars already have the YPP event on it. So it's kind of challenging for me these days to invite anybody. It was truly a proud moment for me last summer at the YPP event that was actually my first event, to see 100% of the Bulk Freight young professionals, of course, those that were 21 to 39, attending regardless of their sexuality. Bulk Freight had created an environment where the team supports each other. Of course, the alcohol helped out. More importantly, I want to keep using this word team, and if there's one thing I can leave you guys with, I want it to be the key to my success. It's your team. Your team at home, your team at school, your team at work, your team at a confusing mixture of all three. Whoever they are, however they identify, your team is going to be the driver to your long-term success. Make your team strong, but remember, it's always an investment. Too many smart people have said, you have to spend money to make money. I'm here to tell you that these people are wrong. You have to invest in your team to make money. So I'm here to encourage you to take that extra day and spend that with your family. Work a little harder to help a coworker out that's in need. Surprise your partner with something exciting. Just make it that investment. If not for yourself, then for your team. Thank you again for selecting my team as the 2016 New Business of the Year. I'm so proud to be considered, and thank you to the GSBA.
Wayne, before you go, we have a special surprise for you. So,
Hi, Wayne. I'm Stephen Black from BECU. And on behalf of BECU, I'd like to recognize the work of entrepreneurs like you who make the spirit of our community what it is. And community is something BECU is well known for. So on behalf of BECU, our nearly 1 million members and 1,400 staff, I'd like to present you with the GSBA New Business of the Year Award for $5,000. This is intended to really honor you and your work and the work of your team. So congratulations.
Okay, how awesome is that? BECU is my credit union. We got to talk about gay truckers and strong women who make crumpets. Love that category. Another congratulations to Wayne. Have the opportunity now to introduce our next presenter, who I met when she moved here 20-something years ago. 20-something years ago to work for Hands Off Washington, a legacy of activism and power that continues to give gifts today. Please welcome Barb Wilson from Vulcan.
Hi, everyone. And just so you all know, Sally and I both met when we were 12. So, how's everyone doing? I'm delighted to be here and that Vulcan is a sponsor of tonight's awards dinner. I'm also really honored to represent Vulcan on the GSBA board, along with our Vice President, Ada Healy. She's our Vice President of Real Estate, and she serves on the Corporate Advisory Board. Vulcan is driven by Paul Allen's passion for giving back to our community. So it's a particular pleasure to be here tonight to recognize and congratulate our 2015 Community Leader of the Year finalists. Emerson Seekins, Washington Access Fund. Emerson is the Asset Building Director at the Washington Access Fund and has devoted his academic and professional life to disability policy and the intersections of transgendered and disability issues. David Hack, Living Care Senior Housing. David is a longtime activist in our community with a particular interest in women's health. He is now one of the leaders in issues regarding aging in the LGBTQ community. And now, to present our award to the 2015 Community Leader of the Year, please welcome Mary Klein and Karen Olson of the Space Needle.
Hi, thank you. I would say, so GSBA gave me a script, and then Mary rewrote it. So as a wise person, I'm reading Mary's script. Mary and I assume you all can read, so please read the bios. We won't reread them here on stage. What we would like to do is to discuss and define what makes a great leader and why these two. We believe great leaders support and empower their friends, their employees, their businesses, and their community. As a friend, you can come to them for help. They will advise you and take action with you. You always come away with an action plan. As an employee, if you are in a crisis, they will support you. And they will support and fundraise for organizations that will also support your needs. As part of the restaurant family, fellow chefs, local farmers, and especially those who teach sustainability, again, they see the need and create support through events, fundraisers, and good old-fashioned passion and empowerment. And still, there is more.
Tim and Linda are also the ones who, when they, when they see an injustice taking place, will take action. And if it's an unpopular stance, as Tamara told me, sometimes just telling the truth is a challenge for other people to hear. They will not only stand by their convictions, they will walk to the front, take the slings and arrows for their families, friends, employees, and for their community because they believe those are all one and the same. And they do this day after day, year after year. That's a great leader, and that is also, in my opinion, heroic. I give you two women who meet every definition of leader, the recipients of the 2015 GSBA Community Leader Award, Tamara Murphy and Linda Morton.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's kind of strange that she wants me to talk first. Because anybody who knows us knows that that's not usually the case. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so honored to be a part of this family. And it really is not an organization to me anymore. And I look out here, and tonight I just feel and have felt for so many years your love, your support. You're always there. And I am just delighted to be gay. And I'm delighted that you're gay. And if you're not gay, I'm really glad you're here. It's just a great, I just, like I said, I just am so, I'm so honored because this room embodies so much love, compassion, support for all of us. And to be recognized in this way is just very humbling, and I'm just so honored. And I've been in Seattle for 3 decades, and I don't know how long I've been a part of the GSBA, but I might want to count all the times that I got the phone call that said I hadn't renewed yet, and then and they never gave up on me, never ever gave up on me, always there, and I'm so grateful for that. But one of the things is what I've learned from so much of my community is that, I've seen this city change and I've seen it grow. And, we don't always agree on the politics and how we should get from A to B. But I think the most important thing for all of us is to remember is that, you've got to participate and you got to show up. And right or wrong, it's not about that. You just have to be, you have to show up. And so, and the other thing is, I'm just so honored to share this award with my beautiful partner, Linda. Right? And for 17 years, she'll say 16, I bet, she has shown up for me, and I love her so much, and I'm just very honored to share this with you, baby. Okay. Thank you very much.
So conveniently, I came down with a cold. If I jump into a coughing fit, then I apologize for that. But I think I can ditto so much that Tamara said. But for starters, I echo the last thing she said. I am inspired by Tamara every day since I met her, and she has consistently, since the day I met Tamara, whether she has the shirt on her back to give away or not, if somebody needs something, or if she sees an injustice happening, or sees an area of the community in need, she is always right up there doing whatever she can to help them. And it can be an organization, our farmers, our employees, that, any number of random things happening that, there's a long list of those actually. That somebody needs, or that an area of our community needs. And Tamara has given so much to this community, and so often it's silent and quiet when she gives it. But she cares so much about individuals, about our community, about sustainability, about her family, which we consider everybody in this room our family. And for us to be receiving this award today, I feel like it's all of our award, but I am incredibly honored to be standing here and receiving it with Tamara. I don't feel worthy compared to what she has done for our community, but she has taught me so much, and she gives so much. And I also have to say that we should all be incredibly proud of each other, because I think the community in Seattle, not only do we have the largest LGBT community in the world, or organization, I should say, but our community is, I feel like, especially in the culinary world and the restaurant world, it's like no other. We collaborate, we give back to each other, we help each other if there's something in need. And I think that it's easy to be a really good family member in this community because of who we all are and the people that make up for the city that we live in. So thank you very much for honoring us today. I'm incredibly blessed to be able to be here with Tamara and receiving this award. And thank you very, very much.
You know, I think that we can all agree that when we hear someone at the microphone say something like, "I am just so delighted to be gay," there's just very little difference between what we're doing here tonight and a Ted Cruz rally, right? That is, I can't imagine that we are that different in this country. Please welcome to the stage Neil McDevitt of RBC Wealth Management. Uh-oh.
Whether if it's support of our ERG LGBT group Nationally Pride, or it's an organization, RBC Wealth Management, that supports me in engaging with the GSBA and the GSBA Scholarship Fund, I'm so proud to be a part of a corporation that engages us employees into our community and fights for equality. Yes, once again, we have received 100% HRC equality rating. RBC is also a member of the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce's Corporate Advisory Board, and we're also including and engaging and expanding our LGBT corporate equality sponsorship of corporations. So get your LGBT certification. It's very important. RBC is also proud to support and be a partner with the GSBA. And we're very pleased to be one of tonight's sponsors. So thank you. And now, on with the show, to the President's Award. I would like to welcome the immediate past president, board chair, Martha Davis of City Light Sign Company. Please welcome her to the stage.
You know, I'm really excited to honor an incredibly passionate and person who supports the GSBA. Kent is a crusader for all that he believes in, and GSBA has been very blessed that he believes wholeheartedly in the Scholarship Fund. When Kent first learned about the Scholarship Fund, it quickly became a family project. He brought in his husband, Kevin Gaspari, our new chair, his parents, Rich and Shay, and his sister, Rochelle. When Kent's father passed away, the family created the Rich Tolke Memorial Scholarship. A tireless ambassador for the Scholarship Fund, Kent's involvement has been at every level, from the volunteer out there interviewing students to the co-chair of the TASE the last 2 years, where he helped raise the bar for the event with record levels of participation last year and raising over $775,000. I'm not sure how he does it. I'm not sure how he did it, but with a work schedule that has him traveling over 260 days a year, Kent's dedication to the cause is a testament to his belief in the power of the Scholarship Fund to change lives. Traveling around the world, Kent never hesitates to share the story of the GSBA and has truly become an international spokesman for the work of GSBA. Kent is a perfect example of the power of belief and dedication to change the world and make it a better place. Please help me in congratulating Kent Tolke.
First of all, it feels really weird and humbling to be honored for doing something that you just actually love and for something that's actually right to do. I want to thank the GSBA, the board. I do think that my connection to the scholarship is so important to me because I want, as a businessman, as an out, openly gay businessman in the world, to make it just a little bit easier for those scholars that are coming behind us so they don't have to fight as hard for diversity in the workplace. People shouldn't have to fight for equal rights just to go to work. And I think that I remember that message every single day. I think it's why organizations like the GSBA and a peer business group that helps us have internal and external peer-to-peer support to remember that being an out LGBT member of the community, the business community, or an ally is so critical to remember that authenticity in all of your interactions daily. I have been fighting for diversity and equal rights in the business community and for the LGBT community since before I was even a G in the G community. And I think that, and I do remember that every day. And I think, I like to tell stories, and Mark Rosine's freaking out. I'm not going to take up all the time, but a couple of months ago, I had a meeting for a big business deal. It was about $40 million. We were meeting in a small town between Salt Lake City and Provo, the bastion of liberalness. And we got to this meeting room, and there was lots of people, and there was lots of niceties in the beginning. And recently, our company had rebranded itself. And we rebranded with the corporate color of pink. Not a subtle pink, pink, big, bright pink. And so we showed up with all of our books and binders and pins and pens and paraphernalia in bright pink. And we were handing it all out. And one of the gentlemen across the room, one of the key decision makers for this $40 million business, said, "Wow, pink. That's the color you picked?" I was like, "Yeah, pink. Pretty cool, huh?" He's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Even that fellow that took over Apple didn't do that." There are points in your career where you have an inside voice that says, "What am I going to do right now?" So I looked at all the people who I work with who were basically wetting their pants, and I said, "No. What did that fella at Apple, what are you talking about? I don't really get it." He goes, "You know." "Nope, I don't know." I'm like, if you're going to be a bigot, you're going to say it. And you're going to say it loud. So all the people I work with are sweating. And I said, "I just don't understand. Are you talking about Tim Cook, one of the most successful CEOs in history? That guy? Yeah, you know about him." "No, I don't." Pretty soon it got really uncomfortable, and he's like, "Well, never mind, it's fine." I am very lucky to work for a company that would have supported me walking away from a $40 million contract, because that kind of bullshit is unacceptable. And it is being part of an organization like the GSBA and having the pleasure and the opportunity to work with phenomenal business leaders in this city that gives me the courage and the support to be able to have those conversations on a daily basis in meetings and boardrooms and business dealings around the world. And the reason that I do that and why I take such pride in it is because when you sit down and meet with those scholars during the scholarship committee interviews, and when you talk to these students, I just have to ensure that I do everything to make their path a little bit easier so they're not having completely idiotic conversations like that when they get out in the business world. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Kent.
Wait a minute, we didn't win that business.
Oh, but you won all the same. All right, congratulations to Kent. If I can ask you to go ahead and just kind of get comfortable for a few moments, it is time for our keynote speaker, and I have the great honor to introduce our speaker tonight. I had the opportunity to hear just a little bit of what she's going to talk about during the rehearsal last night. Yes, there is a rehearsal. Back to what things that Louise makes you do. Gina Graham has an empowering message for us tonight. The importance of digging deep within oneself and then doing whatever it takes to live true to what we find there. Gina's passion for speaking came as no surprise to her mother, who's fond of saying, since age 3, that child would argue with a fence post. Gina had a successful career as an actor and model in TV commercials, print ads, industrial business-to-business films, and was scouted by network casting agents for daytime TV soap operas. He was on his way. However, our outside shell does not always reflect who we are at our core. What do you do when you no longer recognize that person staring back at you in the mirror? Gina spiraled downward into depression and then attempted suicide. She awoke with a new sense of strength, though, and a belief that regardless of the cost, she could and would live authentically. Gina left her male life behind and began the transition from male to female. She launched her own fashion line for tall women, returned to modeling, and co-founded a mobile platform software company. Gina lost her business and home when the dot-com bubble burst, and she rebooted her life yet again. She moved to San Francisco and became a global sales manager for a worldwide media company specializing in the video game industry. Gina is the VP of Corporate Partnerships for GamerX, the video game industry's largest event created for LGBT, women, and people of color. She is also a board member and VP of Corporate Sponsorships and Membership for San Francisco's LGBT Chamber of Commerce, the Golden Gate Business Association. And since leaving her corporate position in 2014, Gina has consulted with numerous companies, coached executives and politicians, and in addition, she's spoken on authenticity, overcoming adversity, and the transgender experience. It's my honor to welcome to the stage and present to you Gina Graham.
Are we on? There we go. Let's try this again. Daughter, son, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, jock, queer, breeder, faggot, tranny, dude, wannabe, damned assimilationist, Christian, abomination. This is a short list of words that family, friends, and even strangers on the street have called me. And depending on your point of view, each is accurate. Though I do take exception to abomination. It kind of sounds like I should be lumbering through the snow across the Himalayas. Or Hermalayas. If you could have seen me years ago when I was just 10 years old, you'd be hard-pressed to believe that that child would grow into the woman you see before you today. You're beautiful. Thank you. Well, that was easy. You see, I had a real Leave It to Beaver childhood. I grew up in a youngest of three kids in a 1970s nuclear family along the north border of Detroit in the suburbs. Dad worked for one of the big three auto companies. Mom stayed at home. Family vacations were taken in the faux wood-paneled station wagon. And church was attended twice on Sunday and Wednesday night. I had bicycles. Oh, I was actually raised in a Southern fundamentalist religion called the Church of Christ. Yeah, is anyone familiar with that? Ah, there's a couple. For those of you that are not, the Church of Christ is, we like to say, it's a lot like Southern Baptists, just not as liberal. I had bicycles, I had friends in neighboring houses, and by the time I reached high school, my 3.5 horsepower mini bike was replaced with a 340 cubic inch hot rod. Yeah. I was honor society, I ran track, played football. I co-captained the basketball team every year from 4th grade on. And in the 6 years of sports in junior high and high school, my parents attended every event I ever did and every game I ever played except one. Just one. This was an idyllic way for a boy to grow up, and I loved it. I told you I was the beaver. Here's the view. Okay. But even all of that could not stop the innate, irrepressible sense that I had of being female. The sense that drove me to a suicide attempt in 1990. In the wake of that, I reached out for help. And on the very first session with Dr. Carroll, she looked at me and she said, "Is there something wrong with being transsexual?" And without batting an eye, I said, "Yeah, there is. You lose your family, you lose your job, you lose your friends, you lose your credibility. It costs a small fortune. And from everything I see, you're likely to die young and violently. There's no upside." "So what do you want me to do?" she asked. I said, "Fix it. If I had broken my arm, I'd go to the doctor and they'd mend it." I said, "Make this go away. I don't want this." See, I was asking Dr. Carroll to fix what I thought was broken within me. And surprisingly, she did exactly that, just not in the way I originally intended. And thankfully so, because rather than being the cause of my demise, embracing my transsexuality actually saved my life. It opened my eyes to the spectrum within gender and sexuality that exists in the human condition. It gave me a depth of empathy I didn't realize possible, and it put me on the path to authenticity. The day I came out to my family was the hardest day of my life. Anyone relate to that? One or two? Yeah. Okay. I had written a letter. It took me weeks to write and hone this letter, and I carried it in the left breast pocket of my black leather motorcycle jacket that I wore everywhere, just waiting for the opportunity to give it to my parents. That day finally came in 1992, excuse me. It was September. It was a beautiful Indian summer day. The trees were filled with burnt orange and yellow and red, and leaves gently blowing down the street. Dad was working on the motorhome when I pulled up, and he sensed something was wrong, and he turned to me and he said, "Son, what's wrong?" I held my breath. I ripped the letter out of my jacket. I handed it to him, and I said, "Read this with Mom. I gotta go." And I jumped in my truck, and I took off. Within a few minutes of arriving back home, my mom was on the phone, and she was crying, and she asked me to come back over to talk about it. As I approached my parents' house, I could see that my sister's car and my brother's car were already in front. As I got closer, I saw all four of them standing together in the driveway, huddled together. Their collective crying was so loud I could hear it through the rolled-up car window. I couldn't stop. I hadn't planned on facing all four of them at one time. That moment was as close to being at one's own funeral as I can possibly imagine. I went back to my apartment to regroup. And when I got there, I poured all the vodka I could find into a glass. I topped it with a little cranberry juice, drank it as fast as I could, and I drove the 2 miles back to face them. See, you have to remember, I was still very male at that point. I had just finished my 3rd national tour as a spokesperson for Dodge truck engines. Yeah. And for the 3 years prior to that, I was a professional George Michael lookalike. So the news of my transsexuality hit everyone like a bolt of lightning. They were all in the living room when I walked in. I sat in the country blueprint sofa that faced the fireplace. My sister, 6 years older than I, sat to my left in the matching love seat. Her arms crossed, her legs crossed, holding a cross. Everything about her spoke pouting. My brother, 4 years older than I, sat across from me in my mom's chair, the pink, dusty rose velvet lazy boy. And he had a look on his face that I could only describe as controlled rage. He looked like he just wanted to kill me. My dad sat to my right in his chair, the deep burgundy leather lazy boy. His head was down, his shoulders were hunched, his arms were crossed. He was just sobbing. It's the first time I'd ever seen my father cry. He looked absolutely broken. And I had done that with just 3 little words. Dad, I'm transsexual. And Mom sat to my right, crying and patting my right hand. At one point, I got up to go into the kitchen to get a bottle of Diet Mountain Dew, and my brother followed me in. As I turned around, he jumped up in my face, and he got up there, and he said, I don't know who you're hanging around with. I don't know what drugs you're on. But if you think for 1 minute that anyone is going to look at you and think you're a woman, you are out of your frickin' mind. I disagree, is all I could say. The next day, I went back to see my therapist, Dr. Carroll, and I recounted the events from the night before, and I told her about my brother's comments and how they had stuck with me and they'd stayed with me. And she thought for a second, and she looked at me and she said, do you love your brother? I said, absolutely. She said, do you want what's best for him? I said, of course. She said, okay. Suppose that 2 weeks from now, you're sitting at home, there's a knock at the door, you open the door, and there stands your brother. He's wearing an orange bed sheet. He shaved his head, he's joined the Hare Krishna, and he says he's going to go hang out at the airport and preach. What would you say? I sat there in silence, and I said, I'd look at him and I'd say, I don't know who you're hanging around with, I don't know what drugs you're on, but you're out of your frickin' mind. That moment changed me. See, I've often heard that it takes us 20 years to accept who we really are, yet we somehow expect our family and loved ones to get there in 20 minutes. I believe that my family could come around and accept if I just allowed them their time to process. Now, the easiest thing in the world would have been to leave, to walk away and just go away. And there were more than a few people that wanted me to do just that. But I couldn't. The potential to maintain my spot within the family was priceless. So the challenge for me was to just be there, to let them have their feelings without argument, without judgment, and understanding that what they were saying was coming from a place of shock, and it wasn't indicative of their actual feelings. Give them their time. I'm happy to say that my family did come around. It took 7 years, and it was a bumpy road, but we made it as a family. I began to live as my genuine self that day I came out, but I wasn't living authentically. See, I'd made myself a promise when I started transition. I said, I spent the first 30 years of my life being afraid people would find out who I really was. I was not going to spend the next 30 years being afraid they'd find out who I used to be. I was not going to exchange one fear for another. And yet I found out I did exactly that. That all changed. You see what? Authenticity is kind of like the oxygen mask in an airplane. You can't help someone else with theirs until you fully wear your own. And I wasn't wearing my own until just 2014. The continual news reports of LGBT youth attempting and committing suicide just became too much. I knew I could not be a check writer anymore. I had to do more. I knew that I had to stand up, I had to step out, and I had to own it. And I did. And I publicly acknowledged my transsexual history. Now, I had had job offers rescinded in the past because a potential employer found out on a background check that I was transsexual. None of that seemed to matter anymore. And a couple of months later, I was giving a presentation very similar to this, and as I was finishing, I noticed a woman standing over to the side. I could tell she wanted to talk with me. She waited till everyone else had left, and she approached. And she said, Gina, as I listened to your story, I saw myself. She said, I'm 72 years old, and 5 years ago, I left a 30-year relationship of abuse. I left my husband. I moved to a new home in a new state, and I was alone for the first time in my life. And I know you know what that feels like. She said, thank you for helping me live more authentically. As Alice and I talked, she spoke of the shared feelings of shame, that the fear of being rejected and shunned by family and friends for a situation you didn't create. The trepidation that comes when you decide to make a seismic change in your life. And above all of this, the personal pride, the dignity, and the empowerment that comes when you know that you are being seen for who you really are. As I watched Alice walk away, I felt we both kind of stood a little taller and certainly more empowered and definitely more connected than we had been just a few minutes prior. But one thing she said kept rolling through my mind, and that was the phrase, more authentically. I kept thinking, isn't authenticity like pregnancy? Either you is or you ain't. My mom always said, you can't be just a little. I thought, we need a better word. You and I know that to be who you generally are in this world, you have to fight for it. We deserve a better word. Authentic is so overused, it's played out. It's everywhere from dollar store salsa to designer knockoffs. It's like, to be who you are, you have to be more than just authentic. You have to be audacious and bodacious and voracious, tenacious, ferocious, voracious, and vivacious. You need to be authentatious. I define authentatious as the relentless pursuit of your best self in a world accustomed to conformity. Trademark. You see, too many people look at authenticity like it's a checklist on a New Year's resolution. Less time on Facebook, lose 10 pounds, be authentic. Yeah, check, right, what's for lunch? It doesn't work that way. To be authentatious means you are conscious and proactive in your daily life. It means that you know that to make change in the world around you, you must first make change within you. And you do that by stepping out of your comfort zone, by standing up and saying, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. I am a living embodiment that what you think is impossible is actually attainable and within your grasp. Are you the person you know yourself to be? What dreams have you put on the back burner for so long you've almost forgotten they're there? How could you, chasing your dreams and going after your goals, positively impact those around you? Change is to be welcomed, not feared. We are not the same people we were just 15 minutes ago because this interaction has changed us both. And I hope you'll believe for the better. And for that, I thank you.
Let's have another round of applause for Gina, please. Gina, thank you for saying yes to GSBA. Okay, we're going to move back into awards here. I would like to congratulate our 2015 Nonprofit of the Year finalists. First, Tacoma Art Museum. Tacoma Art Museum serves the diverse communities of the Northwest through its collection, exhibitions, and learning programs, emphasizing art and artists from the Northwest and the broader Western region. They also host groundbreaking exhibits, including Hide Seek and Art Aids America. Treehouse. Treehouse invests in the lives of young people who have faced deep wounds from a crisis of parenting. Treehouse helps them to secure essential education, basic material needs, and social experiences. They are committed to leveling the playing field for youth in foster care so that each is included, may prosper in, and contribute to society. Now to present the award to our 2015 Nonprofit of the Year, please welcome Eli Allison from Repair Revolution and Carter Subaru's Jennifer Moran.
Good evening. I'm so excited to announce the next winner. This organization is very near and dear to my heart. Ventures empowers aspiring entrepreneurs with limited resources and unlimited potential to improve their lives through small business ownership. Their focus is empowering unbankable individuals, often experiencing generational poverty, to start their own businesses. Their particular focus on low-income individuals means that their success rate has much more power, lifting up entire communities with the success of each small business. An astounding 80% of Ventures clients are still in business and making a profit after 2 years. I am a graduate of Ventures programs myself, as are Sal and Brian, who did all the flowers tonight.
I'm always so humbled and inspired by the recipients, and tonight is no exception. When Executive Director Beto Yarsi started his own small business in Seattle, he didn't have all the support he needed to navigate the system. Experiencing these challenges firsthand gave him the unique perspective to understand the hurdles faced by Ventures clients. He has overseen the tremendous growth of the organization, including receiving a major grant from the Small Business Administration to expand its services. Beto is passionate and inspired by Ventures' mission and the opportunity to support other entrepreneurs with their dreams and helping them realize their own business vision. It is my honor to present the 2015 GSBA Nonprofit of the Year Award to Beto and Ventures.
Wow, this is super exciting. I'm very, very happy to be here. Building business and changing lives. So that's our tagline. So Ventures, building business and changing lives. I want to share with all of you what is my experience as an immigrant from Mexico that moved 13 years ago. Actually, this is my week of my anniversary since I decided to move to the United States. Thank you. When I decided to move to the United States, I have a dream, I have ideas. I've been in business for all my life. My family's been in business for all 3 generations. But when I decided to move here, I didn't really understand the system, how to navigate the system, even had to go to QFC on Broadway and do my groceries. I didn't really understand that. But I had a really good support and a really good network that helped me to navigate that. And that's just a little idea of how do you start working and building a community to help you to achieve your goals and your dreams. Another funny story that I can share, I used to be a waiter in a very fancy restaurant on Broadway, Gallerias, maybe you remember that restaurant. That was kind of my first job that I did under the table because I was undocumented. I didn't have the documents to work, so I did it under the table. But I remember the GSBA used to host the board meetings there, and I was the waiter to serve them. And I remember Louise, she was always so sweet and supportive about all the board members were there. So over the years, I've been able to build my business. I have my own business, and I've been going to be a successful business for 12 years at the Piper's Market. I have a jewelry business and folk car at the Piper's Market. And it's been successful, it's been sustainable. I'm very excited about that. And after 5 years, I decided to start volunteering with an organization called Casa Latina, and then helping workers on how do you navigate the system and how do you create a sustainable business. And after a year doing that job as volunteer, I find about Washington Cash, now Ventures. So we rebrand last year, now we are Ventures, but Community Alliance for Self-Help was our name for almost 20 years, so we're on 21 years now. And then I find fascinating how do we support entrepreneurs on underserved communities, low-income individuals, people of color, women, minorities, people who doesn't really have that support. And since then, I've been so proud of the work that we do. I'm very passionate because I live the same challenges that our clients face every day. And so I've been there for 8 years. I start just kind of like as a volunteer, and then little by little I've been able to grow into the organization. I'm the first executive director that grew from the bottom to the top to the organization. I've been in all the positions there. So I share with all of you, this is my story because that's the story that all of our clients go through the program. I want to share with all of you, I want to ask you to look at the center of your tables. So it's a beautiful flowers there that is made for another graduate, that it's been a dream 5 years ago, that was a dream, and today it's a super sustainable, successful business that right now they were not able to sit with us at our table, but their team is there because they're in a cruise ship traveling. So that's the success. So it's how someone with low income, they can go to that level. I want to thank GSBA because this is a community that empowers people, and I'm so excited not only to be the recipient of the Nonprofit of the Year, but also to be part of the board. I also want to thank all our clients because that's what inspires all my team every day that we walk into the office. Our clients are fantastic and they need a lot of support from us, and then we're going to continue being engaged with our mission. And thank you to everyone, past and present, that has worked with us for the ventures to help us, our clients. And to my team and my board of directors that they are joining me tonight, thank you so much because you are so passionate, and then that's the reason that we're doing this fantastic job. Thank you everybody to be here, and then congratulations for the 35 years.
Beto, before you walk away, I'd like to introduce Chris Hermans from the Pride Foundation for a surprise.
Well, it looks like they have a spot you're supposed to stand, but I'm going to ask you to stand up here. So, Beto, I want to join everybody else in congratulating you on winning this award. And I also want to let you know that on behalf of Pride Foundation, our board, our staff, and our supporters, many of them who are here this evening in the audience, want to recognize your leadership and all you do for our community, and also everything you will continue to do for our community, and to recognize that with a check of $5,000.
I'll just say this in Spanish. I forget to say muchas gracias y buenas noches. Que tengan muy buenas noches.
Clearly, yet another reason that we must build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. To present our 2015 Voice of Social Justice Award, please welcome Ryan Biava of the Seattle Mayor's Office of Policy Innovation, retired Judge Ann Levinson, and Washington State Supreme Court Justice Mary Yu.
Well, good evening. It's really an honor for me to help introduce the next awardee tonight. Since I've benefited from her mentorship and enthusiasm for knowledge for some time, which is also the case for my brother, another former GSBA scholar whose undergraduate senior thesis Anna Mari actually advised. It's a small world. Anna Mari Cauce is the first woman, Latina, and lesbian to serve as permanent president of the University of Washington. Born in Cuba, where her father was the Minister of Education, Cauce's family escaped the political turmoil there by moving to Miami when she was 3 years old. To support the family, her parents took jobs in shoe factories. They instilled in their children the importance of education, which has been in Anna Mari's DNA ever since. She joined the UW faculty in 1986 as an assistant professor of psychology, researching mental health interventions for at-risk youth. And although Anna Mari does not seek titles for their own sake, she has held numerous leadership positions, every one of them at the University of Washington. To call this sort of career trajectory uncommon would be an inaccurate understatement. Her successive promotions over the last 30 years at the University of Washington represent a profound appreciation on the part of the faculty and of the regents of Anna Mari's leadership abilities. She has held, in addition to every rank of professor, the following positions of leadership: Director of the Honors Program, Chair of the Department of American Ethnic Studies, Chair of the Department of Psychology, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Executive Vice Provost, Interim President, and now President.
Thank you. President Cauce continues to this day to teach and mentor undergraduate and graduate students. She still does research focused on adolescent development. She encourages women and young people of color to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. She's received numerous awards for her scholarship, her teaching, and activism, including the much prized University of Washington Distinguished Teaching Award. As interim president, she launched the university's Race and Equity Initiative, bringing together UW faculty, staff, and students to address issues around inequity and social justice. She's spoken publicly about her own experiences with prejudice as a Cuban immigrant and as a lesbian. Her devotion to fighting social inequity runs deep, she says, in part because her older brother was a civil rights activist, and he was killed in 1979 at the young age of 25 by members of the KKK in North Carolina. And his death motivates her work, and her fight for social justice.
Those who work with her praise her for her intellect and her devotion to the university, a decisive leader unafraid to take risks, who stays grounded and leads collaboratively. Students say she makes them feel included, taking the time to really listen to their perspectives, making them feel safe and a part of the community. She has also come out of the closet in another way. She is a proud member of the tribe of nerds and geeks. As she says, geeks is the new chic. Whether geeks or students of color, young women, LGBTQ, or all of the above, the students at the UW can count on President Cauce encouraging them to reach for their dreams and making them proud that they all belong to the tribe of purple and gold. Friends, let's give it up for President Cauce.
Thank you so much. This has been a pretty incredible year for me, but I could not imagine how honored I am to be on the same stage with these three folks and to hear from all of you. Thank you so very much. This is an incredible honor. You know, I can remember when I came here about 30 years ago, I was coming to interview for a position as an assistant professor and wondering when we started doing chit-chat and people asked you about your family, etc., was I going to say anything? Or should I wait until after I got the job? Not exactly sure which one of those I did, by the way. But I also can remember having that discussion with so many of my students over the years when they were interviewing for perhaps graduate school or for a position as undergrads and wondering, do I say anything or not? Apparently now we give them scholarships. And we make them presidents. You know? We've come a long way, babies. I mean, at no time did I feel that any more than a couple of years ago when I was so lucky to be able to celebrate my 25th anniversary and first year of marriage with Susan Jocelyn, who I could not do this without. Susan. I'm not the easiest person to put up with, believe me. You know, when we talk to our students about leadership, what we often tell them is the first step is imagining it. But I can say with all honesty that I could never imagine that I could be married, and I never imagined that I could be president of a university as fabulous as the University of Washington. But what I'm most proud of is the fact that perhaps because of this, others can imagine it. And having said all that, I think it's also given the award social justice for us to remember that while we're all sitting in this room celebrating, and we should, there are still countries in this world where people like me, people like many of us, get jailed, get killed for being who they are. There are states in this country, where people can't be married and where people can be fired for being who I am and who so many of us are. So tonight's a wonderful night for all of us to celebrate together. I could not be happier, I could not be prouder, but let's remember there's still a lot of work to be done. And together we can do it. Thank you so, so much.
Congratulations to President Kausik on being named the 2015 GSBA Voice for Social Justice, and I'll say thank you personally for being the right leader at the right time for an institution that I care so much about and that has contributed, I hope, to so much of who I am. I'm a 3-time graduate and I'm still trying to get it right. I would like to now congratulate our 2015 Business Leader of the Year finalists. Number 1, Janine Larson with RE/MAX Northwest Real Estate Gals. Janine is well known to GSBA, as evidenced by those applause, has been a real estate agent and a member of GSBA for 26 years, fully embracing GSBA's value of incorporating philanthropy into her business model. She donates 10% of her income to charity and believes that every LGBT person should belong to the GSBA and wear their membership like a banner. Matthew Fairfax of the James Allen Salon. Matthew has a passion for human rights, philanthropy, and leadership, and has made an impact around the world through the Justice and Soul Foundation, transforming the lives of victims of human trafficking in Cambodia and the United States. To present the, that's definitely great. To present the Business Leader of the Year award, I'd like to please welcome to the stage Jennifer Devine of Miller, Nash, Graham & Dunn, and King County Council member Joe McDermott.
Wow. What an amazing evening. How many amazing people have been on this stage. It's just an honor to be here. It's an honor to be part of GSBA for all these years. It's been a thrill to be on the awards committee. And it's a real special pleasure to get to introduce people like Mona Smith. As a one-person legal firm, Mona Smith has served her community in monumental ways and has had an outsized impact on some of our community's major issues. Mona has been a steadfast advocate for LGBT civil rights, taking key roles in the effort to gain marriage equality in Washington and nationally. In numerous leadership positions with GSBA, including two-term president and public policy task force chair, she oversaw key work that strengthened the sustainability of GSBA and the Scholarship Fund, while expanding the role of GSBA in advocating for both civil rights and small business issues. One truly cannot talk of GSBA and public affairs without talking about the role that Mona has played in the past decade in leading our policy efforts. GSBA now has both a seat and a strong voice at the public policy table.
As the national chair of the Victory Fund Campaign Board, Mona works to elect LGBTQ candidates to office across the country. That is a big deal. Mona is tireless in her support of both sides of GSBA as a bronze sponsor of the Chamber and as a member of the Scholarship Fund's Emerald Jewel Club. All this while she takes exceptional care of her personal clients and enjoys family life with her wife Natalie and their dog Coco. Integrating philanthropy and social justice into her business, Mona is a true business and community leader. Congratulations, Mona Smith, our 2015 Business Leader of the Year.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer and Joe, for those very kind and warm words, and thank you, GSBA, for this recognition. I want to acknowledge and congratulate my fellow nominees and all the other award recipients. I'm truly honored to be among such amazing and distinguished leaders. You know, I really don't like talking about myself very much. I just like doing stuff. But it's been my privilege to work for equality and on business issues, and I've made that service part of my business model and part of my life. We all get inspired by someone or something. For me, it happened when I was really young. It was President Kennedy and his family's commitment to public service, which taught me that together we can help others and we can build strong communities. Being of service in these ways is part of my DNA. But I know you can't move the needle forward alone. You have to have a lot of partners in crime. And I certainly do. And I wouldn't be here without them. So thank you, Louise Chernin, for being a catalyst and shepherd in my journey. Thank you, George Piper, for welcoming me into the GSBA Government Affairs Committee, now known as the Public Policy Task Force. Thank you to Tim Bradbury, Lonnie Lusardo, the late and great Don Moreland, Shad Reinstein, and Jody Lane for seeing the light and being mentors to me. Thank you, Ann Levinson, for getting me involved with the Washington referendum process and promising me the storm would win when I was stuck in Olympia traffic. And of course, for your wisdom and your friendship. Thank you, David Ward, for always lending an ear and providing sage counsel during referendums 71 and 74. And thank you, Matt Landers. You are such a talent, and you made my life a lot easier when you arrived at GSBA. Thank you to the GSBA board and staff. You do so much for all of our members and our community. You are truly selfless. Of course, my friends and family, including my mother, who is here from Florida tonight. You are always there when I need you the most, so thank you so very much. And finally, I want to thank my wife, Natalie, whose unconditional love and support fuels me every day. Thank you, everyone. I'm so humbled by all of you and by this award.
Now I would like to congratulate our 2015 Corporate Leader of the Year finalists. Lisa Fain is the Leader of Diversity and Inclusion at Outer Wall. With the help of her team, Lisa created and facilitates Scholars to Leaders. That's a leadership program for the GSBA Scholarship Fund. Outer Wall has been a Pride and Taste sponsor and a 2016 GSBA Gold partner. Lisa also sits on the Corporate Advisory Board. Next, Melinda Starbird. Melinda is a business leader who is passionate about moving the needle on employee engagement in a positive manner, finding top talent who think outside the box, training business leaders, and hiring managers to be selective and ensuring inclusivity of all types of diversity within companies and in the hiring process. And now to present the award to our 2015 Corporate Leader of the Year, please welcome City of Seattle Chief Technology Officer Michael Mattmiller and Gladys Gillis of Starline Luxury Coaches. Welcome.
Good evening, and it is an honor to be up here to introduce this next winner. This next winner has achieved so much that I think the only mountain left for him to climb may be rebranding his company, PwC, in pink. Let me share a few things. Under his leadership, Kevin Baldwin, PwC's Pacific Northwest office has grown over 700 employees and doubled its revenues. Kevin believes strongly in building diversity at all levels, from PwC's leadership team to new recruits fresh out of college, all the while ensuring that the employees are a reflection of the entire community that PwC serves. He's a partner champion for PwC's LGBT Open Affinity Group and has pushed the company on LGBT inclusion issues. In part due to his efforts, PwC was one of Diversity Inc.'s top 10 companies for LGBT employees. Just one second. They've had a 100% corporate equality index since 2006. Yeah, absolutely. And won the 2009 Point Inspiration Award for LGBT inclusion. Michael?
Well, and just to echo Gladys, as a PwC alum, you can't imagine what it's like as a new associate in 2006 to get an email from your national leader noting that your company was just named a 100% on the Corporate Equality Index for the first time, and what that means and what you think you can achieve in your career. And it's thanks to Kevin and his fellow partners for that achievement. In fact, Kevin helped bring PwC on as GSBA's first Ruby Jewel sponsor and committed to investing significantly in both the Chamber and the Scholarship Fund. He sits on the GSBA Corporate Advisory Board, the Executive Committee of the Seattle Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, and is a board member of the Washington Biotechnology and Biomedical Association. Currently, he is co-chairing former Governor Gregoire's Challenge Seattle Partnership to work with government and business to improve our region's transportation, education, and affordable housing, and to tell Seattle's success stories around the world. It's a great personal privilege to welcome Kevin and PwC on being 2015 GSBA Corporate Leader of the Year. Kevin.
Well, I must say, I am so humbled to be here tonight, and it's somewhat emotional to me because, you know, coming from a small town in Oklahoma, where, you know, I think it was a place where I grew up from very humble beginnings. I'm very honored to be here. Wish my 92-year-old mother could be here tonight. You know, I'd just first like to thank Michael and Gladys. I really appreciate it. And I'd also like to recognize Lisa and Melinda because they're doing some tremendous work in the community and really appreciate all that they're doing. They're two fine organizations. So give a hand to them. You know, many of you probably don't know much about PwC except we do the Academy Awards and we're a bunch of accountants. But you know, with all jokes aside, I'd just like to say that, you know, we have a fundamental belief that, you know, diversity and inclusion is so extremely important to the business community. And quite frankly, I firmly believe it's table stakes in society today. And those organizations that are going to thrive in the future have definitely got to have a perspective and a point of view that's making certain that individuals that work within their company, given the fact that we all probably spend most of our waking hours where we work and with the people we work with, we've got to create a community and an atmosphere that allows individuals to be who they are and be able to aspire to achieve whatever they want to, both personally and professionally. You know, I've got a lot of responsibilities as a leader at PwC, but I firmly believe the number one task I have every day when I wake up is to do just what I just said, which is to create the platform where individuals can really thrive at being successful at PricewaterhouseCoopers, but utilizing it as also a platform for them to reach their personal and professional goals wherever they may be. So on behalf of PwC, I really want to say thank you very much for this award, and I'm, again, just very humbled by this room and what it stands for, and thank you very much.
Congratulations to PwC and to Kevin. And I know you can't believe that I'm going to say this, but this is our final category. We do have a couple of things to cover after the final category. I know, right? It's amazing. All right, it is my honor to congratulate the finalists for the 2015 Business of the Year. First, Hawaii General Store. It's almost kind of cheating because who doesn't love Hawaii? Hawaii General Store has for nearly 2 decades been bringing the spirit of aloha and some of the island's best gifts, clothes, foods, and fresh flower leis to folks here on the mainland. More than just a small family-owned business, Hawaii General Store is also a cultural center where people can get connected to all things having to do with Hawaiian and Pacific Island cultures in the Pacific Northwest. Second, it's my honor to recognize Carrie and Lilivek, PLLC. They're over there, table 19. There are a lot of charming people in this room, but oh my God, they are so charming. Oh my God. This is the law firm of Ann Carey and Linda Lilivek, two of the nicest people to talk with on the phone while you're asking them for money. You're all nice too, really, the ones of you who I spoke with. Two dedicated and hardworking professionals fighting for the rights of Washington children and their families. They are proud to create a firm that welcomes all, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or socioeconomic status. And now to present the award to our 2015 Business of the Year, please welcome Eva Jenner of Holland America Line and Seabourn and Joe Fougere of Tutabella.
Tuxedos and Tennis Shoes Catering and Events has been in operation in Seattle since 1986. Their name reflects the range of services they offer, from elegant, formal affairs to casual events. Founder David Haggerty was joined by David Meckstroth in 1989 as co-owner and partner in the business. Together, they have run the Hall of Fauntleroy in West Seattle for 20 years and are the exclusive catering partners with Act Theater, Cornish Playhouse, and Benaroyal Hall, in addition to running the restaurant and cafe at Benaroyal. Yes, they attribute much of their success to their entire team of amazing people.
Tuxedos and Tennis Shoes' love of supporting the community is clearly evident. They are committed to organizations focusing on LGBT youth, kids in education, and cancer research, and have supported many organizations including Fred Hutch, Harborview and UW Medicine, Youth Care, and the Seattle Men's Chorus and Seattle's Women's Choruses. Tuxedos and Tennis Shoes is also a regular caterer at GSBA networking events and join us every year at The Taste. They host an annual Thanksgiving community meal for 400 people, open to anyone in need. And not content to rest on their laurels, they continue to grow and are forming a new brand, D squared, hence the cookies on your table, explains the D squared cookies. On a personal note, I'm really excited for David and David because they recently hired Mo Shah, a dear friend of mine, to help them run their business. Mo, we love you. And I know David and David do as well. So congratulations, Tuxedos and Tennis Shoes, on the GSBA 2015 Business of the Year.
Wow. Thank you, you guys. Of course, we brought our team, and they are brilliant. You know, this is an amazing honor. You know, we were excited to be nominated, and then they did with great fanfare. We were surprised, almost like we were sweepstakes winners, by Louise and the team. They showed up with balloons and flowers, and we were in a meeting and totally shocked. And it's kind of a testament to the GSBA and the way they do things. They are exciting. All of us, I think, appreciate what they are and what they mean to our businesses. I'm also struck that, you know, we started with a gay trucker, and now we have a gay caterer. And it somehow it doesn't have the same impact. But here we are. You know, we were trying to remember when we joined the GSBA. And, you know, like many businesses, I think you lose dates, especially businesses like ours that have been around for almost 3 decades. But I think that, thank you. We settled on, it's been at least 10 years, maybe 15 years. We remember doing some of the first taste of the GSBAs at the Swedish Club, Fisher Pavilion, and now it just keeps growing, and that's a testament to the organization that we're so proud to be a part of. We look in a room like this and we just see amazing businesses. We're inspired by the talent that we see, and GSBA to this day is our go-to resource throughout our team. I think we all have a book at our desk, and if we have a service that we need, that's where we go, first and foremost. And hopefully we all do that. I'm not the public speaker. I'm going to turn it over to my business partner, who is much better at this than I am.
I thought he did pretty good. Also very honored, thank you so much. And my name's David Hegarty. A huge thank you to our team for being here tonight and joining us, part of our team. Love you guys. Honestly, it takes a team to do this, and you guys, I mean, we just love you. We are here with you, and we're representing our whole company here tonight, so thank you very much. And of course, I've got to say, going at the end is hard. And seeing all those people talk, and do I have spinach in my teeth? And, yeah, thank you. I was inspired, and you know what? I've got 3 young men with me tonight, my sons, and wow, what a great opportunity for you guys to be witness to this amazing evening tonight. This is cool. And of course, my lovely wife, Meg. Meg, thank you for being by my side tonight. I much appreciate everything. Thank you.
And I have to say the same for my partner, Hal Angel. Hal, yeah, you are my angel. and you know, I think as you know, business people, we sometimes forget that we have the loving spouses, partners, and people in our lives that are our sounding board for life and for business decisions. And Hal, I love you, and I thank you for that. You're amazing.
We got to do it. It's our 30-year anniversary. We're rebranding. We are D Squared. D Squared represents so many things that we're doing now. We're so dang excited. It is cool. Our website goes live tonight. Please go home and look at it. dsquaredcompany.com. We are David's and Company. We are the Hall at Fauntleroy. We are Muse at Benaroya Hall. We are Tuxedos and Tennis Shoes Catering. We are TNT to Go. We are TNT Twist. And just as of last Monday, we are now the proud, I guess we're taking over Melrose Market Studios. We are, yeah. So, and that's not Melrose Market, it's Melrose Market Studios, the event space at Melrose Market. We're just so dang excited. And we couldn't be prouder tonight. I mean, it is so cool to be here on this great time in our lives. A friend sent a message to me the other day knowing we were coming here, and he said, enjoy the harvest. You know what I love about that? This is the harvest, folks. And you know what? Winter's a-coming. Spring is coming. Summer's coming. That's cool, right? But I'm enjoying the harvest with all of you. Thank you so much, GSBA. And thank you, David Mextron.
I should have noted there, we weren't quite sure Eva was going to make it for presenting. She landed at SeaTac just about an hour and a half ago, and I've always wanted to say this, and boy, are her arms tired. Never gets old, never gets old. Congratulations to Tuxedos and Tennis Shoes, our 2015 GSBA Business Leader of the Year, and to all of tonight's award recipients. To those who were nominated, thank you very much to the presenters. I will say one thing before bringing Louise back up here. I'm not going to make those of you who participated in the Republican caucuses stand up. You know who you are. And that's fine. We're a participatory world. Engage. Be a part of it. Democratic caucuses are coming up. Some of you may be interested in that. Anybody know what day? March 26th. Nicely done. If you do not know where you caucus, you can find out. There are lots of ways. You can call me, and I'll help you find out. GSBA will help you find out. Attend your caucuses. There are a lot of jokes to be made about the presidential races, the way they're happening right now, but they're not very funny, really. The whole thing, just not very funny. Participate. Tell your story. Be a part of your community. This works up. It's a crazy thing, the caucuses. It's weird. I know you have to sit next to people on uncomfortable little chairs in a schoolroom. I'm sorry. Maybe eat the cookies. They'll be safest. But do it. Do it for all the reasons that you've heard about here tonight, because we do this as a community, because we step out and we tell our stories, we live by our values, we try to live authentically, and that means showing up. Thank you very much for showing up here tonight. And if I may I bring up Louise Chairman.
Whoa, good whistling there. Thank you all for coming. What a wonderful group of people. Thank you for being our GSBA family. Thank you for what you do every day. Congratulations, finalists, honorees. We are really blessed to have all of you. I am so blessed to know you, to work with you, work alongside of you. I also want to thank Sally Clark. A big round of applause. Gary Tucker is very jealous that you took his spot, but I want to bring up somebody very special who's sitting in the audience here. We have one more surprise to tell you tonight that we're very excited about. And while he's walking up here, you know it is my job to make sure you do renew your membership. So please do. If you're new here, join us. You'll see what a stellar group you're joining. But most importantly, support each other. That is what keeps our community strong. It is what has kept us strong for 35 years, and it will keep us stronger. I say we are the only chamber, truly the only chamber, where everyone in the organization is each other's cheerleader. I have people who call, and it could be their biggest competitor. If they think they're in trouble, they call me and say, what can I do to get them business? Because we are community first. So you are amazing what you have done in this world. This is a friend of GSBA's that's becoming a closer friend. And so this is Emery Thomas, the publisher of the Puget Sound Business Journal, who has a surprise for you.
Thank you, Louise, and thanks everybody here tonight. What a night. How fantastic is this? So inspiring. So now I am tremendously excited to be standing here right now to be making an announcement. The Puget Sound Business Journal in 2016 is launching a new program called The Business of Pride. Extremely exciting to us, and I think for the business community at large. We're doing this in partnership with GSBA. Mark your calendars right now for May 26th, because we are taking over the Paramount Theater that night for a rousing and important celebration. Together with you, we will own the Paramount marquee and stage for a cocktail reception and program that I think you'll never forget. And it is the basics are in the program right here in your Puget Sound Business Journal advertisement in the program, but this will be a celebration with meaning. With meaning. That week, we're going to be producing a first-of-its-kind special issue of the Business Journal, including a list of the region's top LGBTQ-owned businesses. The publication will explore with depth and detail the enormous contributions of the LGBTQ community on business in our region, where it started, yes, and especially how it's grown and where it's going, thanks to all of you. I'm really proud to be launching this program at the Puget Sound Business Journal and so pleased to be announcing it here tonight. It's going to be a highlight of 2016 for me and for the business community in the Puget Sound region. So I look forward to seeing you on the red carpet laid out for you on May 26th at the Paramount. We want you to show up. Thank you. Thank you, GSBA. Thank you, everyone here, and thank you, Louise.
Okay, quite a night. May 26th, you heard. Remember May 20th as well, which is the night of the Scholars Dinner. And this year, we're going to give out close to $400,000. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Some of you might go upstairs for a drink, raising a glass with each other, but drive home safely, or Uber if you do have something to drink, or taxi, or private something, or whatever car is in favor these days. But take care of each other, and thanks for all you do.